the great teams overcome adversity, because in adversity, there's opportunity.
No matter what they did, we had an answer for it.
And I want to be able to count on the Notre Dame spirit.
The desire to just be the best.
We're going to get them on a run. We're going to go, 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 go. And we aren't going to stop until we go to that goal line.
Notre Dame football didn't start with Knute Rockne, but national championships did. He won 3 in his 13 seasons as head coach at the University of Notre Dame. And this year marks the 100th anniversary of Notre Dame's first national championship. There's so many incredible storylines from 1924. The wild popularity of player turned coach Knute Rockne. Notre Dame's run-in with the KKK. You may have heard of the Four Horsemen, but what about the 7 Mules, the shock troops? From cross-country travel to hometown hype. All of this put a small Midwestern Catholic university on a path to national prominence that Irish fans celebrate to this day. I'm Tricia Sloma. Join us for Knute Rockne and a Century of Champions. America in the Roaring 20s. There was prosperity, innovation, and football. 1924 was a special year.
It was the 7th year for Coach Knute Rockne, so he had been around.
Acclaimed author and historian Jim Lefebvre wrote the Rockne biography, Coach for a Nation, and the book Loyal Sons, the story of the Four Horsemen.
It was a fascinating year, not just at Notre Dame, not just in college football, but in things going on across the country, the development of radio, for instance, covering college football amongst the political conventions and other big stories of the day. Plans for the Golden Gate Bridge being announced. Everywhere you turn, there was something new and exciting happening in American development and culture, and college football, the explosion of college football was right there with it.
On 1, 2, 3.
Notre Dame was enjoying the success of college football with their charismatic head coach. In March of 1924, Notre Dame signed Rockne to a 10-year deal.
Look at this. He was athletic director and football coach. 1 page.
Retired South Bend attorney and local collector Andy Nickel showed me the 1-page contract signed by Knute Rockne and Notre Dame president Father Matthew Walsh.
10-year contract he signed in 1924, the year they went on to win the national championship. $10,000 a year.
Worth it for this winning coach.
He had winning teams. He had undefeated teams in 1919 and 1920, led by the great George Gipp.
Affectionately known as the Gipper, George Gipp was the star of the team in Rockne's first year of coaching in 1918, but he died of pneumonia in 1920.
Ask them to go in there with all they've got. Win just one for the Gipper.
That's a young President Ronald Reagan as Gipp in the 1940 film Knute Rockne All-American.
George Gipp, the singular star of his generation, extremely talented, extremely confident, also very difficult to coach. So he was a little bit of a coach's headache. After his untimely death, Rockne confided to a friend that as great as it was to coach a talent like Gipp, that wasn't his preference. His preference was to develop an entire team and coach it well and have it come together in a cohesive unit. And the fellows who arrived on campus in the fall of 1921 would be that team.
A team that showed off the forward pass. No, Notre Dame didn't invent it, but Knute Rockne did use it often and effectively.
He throws a long pass. It's a long one way up the field.
And by 1924, Rockne had developed a plan to keep his men from wearing down.
So other teams played their biggest 11 guys for 60 minutes. Rockne worked so deep into his roster that he developed an entire second unit. They were called the shock troops, an entire second unit that he would start the games, take the shock out of the opponent's regulars for up to a quarter and play them evenly before he brings in the Notre Dame regulars. It was brilliant strategy and it worked to perfection. It helped keep his regulars a lot fresher through the course of the season.
The season started out strong, but that 1924 Army game was the real test. Turns out the blue-gray October matchup at the Polo Grounds in New York gave the Irish more than a victory. It would launch a legendary sports image that would stand the test of time.